So we start with the front page of the Financial Times for a change, Leo. Lots of juicy news on there. What's your favourite?
Oh, yeah, so there is. So, I mean, there's a picture of the England team celebrating after scoring one of their goals. They're competing in the virtue signalling World Cup, where all the countries from around the world get together to see who can make the most political statements. So they went down early when they couldn't wear rainbow armbands, and then Iran went up when they didn't sing their anthem, but England came back strong by taking the knee. So overall, England won with the most virtue signalling, or should I say revenue signalling? Because
I suppose Scotland signalled the hardest by refusing to play well enough to be.
We boycotted this World Cup out of the goodness of our hearts. So
You've boycotted many of them now, haven't you? And nobody's ever paid any attention.
We're very altruistic people, Simon. So that's what we do. The other story on here, because it is the Financial Times, is the Putsch against Chapeck opens. Putsch against Chapeck opens Iger's second act at Disney. That sounds like a load of words that don't make any sense, but basically Disney has a new CEO. It's the old CEO. He was CEO for 50. He was the leader of Disney for 15 years, but he's come back because this guy Chapeck came in for 3 years and did a mixed bag, but the share price crashed by 40%. He's launched a streaming service which is actually doing really well. It's got more subscribers than Netflix. It's got like 237 million subscribers, but it's losing money hand over fist. They're spending $30 billion a year.
Great big Mickey Mouse hands over fist as well. They lose the money. I mean, one of the things you've got to have some sympathy for this guy Chapeck, who was only in there basically for the coronavirus era, wasn't he? Where all their parks were closed. I suppose their streaming service did well out of that. Yeah. But as soon as lockdown ended, streaming services have been nosediving, of course, because they're regarded as a bit of a luxury. And meanwhile, I don't know whether people are going back to the parks.
I went there a couple of weeks ago.
Did you?
Pretty busy, according to all those queues.
Paris, or one of the proper ones, yeah. We went to Paris. The first time we ever went to, we took our daughter abroad to go to Paris Disneyland. Absolutely torrential rain the whole way through, which is, of course, the one ingredient that California and Florida can reasonably hope to avoid.
But the old bot, he was arguing with the Florida bosses, so there was a lot of hoo-ha over there. There's also this whole thing of the go woke, go broke. He's pushing through this kind of very forced diversity thing. When you push that into entertainment, the product, the actual quality goes down, and then their revenues go down.
Well, he did have, it was quite interesting, the Florida thing, because as I understand it, it was a very mixed message. I think he was caught on the hop to some extent, because it was implied that some Disney executives or some Disney funding had been pushed towards the people who were creating the legislation that's essentially like Section 28, isn't it? Or is it 28, the old Thatcher? The anti-gay, the don't say gay stuff? So that was considered very anti-woke in Florida, and it sort of emerged that there were accusations that Disney was behind that.
Well, and he managed to annoy both sides. Yes. He alienated both sides because he took a long time to come out and speak against the don't say gay bill, which wasn't a don't say gay bill. It was like don't go into primary schools and indoctrinate into being transgender. Yeah. Like totally. Well, it's fine. You're allowed to say people can have two mummies or two daddies or whatever. It's just, stop all this drag queen nonsense. Why have you got to have drag queens in schools? Anyway, so he took too long to come out and speak against it, so he alienated all the mad lefties, and by speaking against it, he alienated everybody on the right as well. So he pleased nobody, but he's certainly not...
Look, I have to say, it does look like Iger. I did a little bit of research on him this evening, and it sounds like he's a pretty capable guy. I don't know why they got rid of him in the first place, but he didn't leave under a cloud.
He tried to retire for years, like 4 times. He kept on threatening to retire, and then... and whatever, but he comes from an entertainment background. Yeah.
Whereas, he was a weatherman.
Well, those are the best kind of.
Yeah. In America.
Yeah.
That would have been the north face of the Iger for his...
But Disney is such a huge company and controls so much of our entertainment at the moment. And walking around Disneyland...
Even more than in our lifetime it's become. It was big when I was growing up, and now it also has their own Marvel
there was like a Marvel world, there was Star Wars, they're building a whole Frozen world. Yeah. It's crazy. I just want to say, because I keep on seeing behind Leo's
Frozen World, is that where they keep Walt Disney then? Is that because he's supposed to be cryogenically...
Exactly. But I just want to say that in terms of this photo of them winning the match, I think is a protest that they did. It's very homoerotic. If you could see the space between their groins, certainly two of them. I feel like that's their way of...
It's kind of iconic. I would be interested to know exactly where Sterling's groin is in that.
They're going to be beheaded. They're going to be beheaded in the stadium tomorrow.
Well, we have beheading news later, but certainly in the meantime, let's